Alright. I need your attention. Right. That whole question, no calculator is allowed. So I'm going to start with 2a first. So 2a, we need to get the value of cos 75 degrees without using a calculator. Okay? The instruction is very specific that no calculator must be used. Right? Now, for a question like this, you need to know that you have to use your knowledge of special angles. Because if you know your special angles, you won't need a calculator. So cos 75 degrees, right? I can split it up and write it as cos 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. Okay? Then I can expand it using number 2. So the 45 will be my alpha, the 30 will be my beta. Okay? So this becomes cos 45 degrees times cos 30 degrees. There's a plus there, you put a minus, sine 45 degrees times sine 30 degrees. I use number 2. Yes? Cos 90 minus what? Not minus 20, but minus 15 degrees. 15 degrees is not a special angle. 75 plus 25, okay, will give you 100. 90 minus 75 give you 15 degrees. 15 degrees is not a special angle. So for this question here, the best will be the 45 and the 30. You break up the 75 into 45 and what? And 30. And then use the compound angles. The compound is only using the special angle. Take it. The only way you can do this question without using a calculator is to use special angles together with what? Compound what? Angle. A combination of the two. Compound angles, grade 12. Special angles, grade 10. You use the combination of the two. Okay. If you try to use one of the two without the other, you won't be able to get the solution. So you have to use the combination. Okay? So the 75 can only be broken up into two, 45 and 30. So cos 45, we know that's 1 over square root of 2. Cos 30, that will be square root of 3, square root of 3 over 2. Okay, minus minus 1 over square root of 2 times sine 30, that's a half. So this, if I simplify it, I'm going to get square root of 3 over 2 square root of 2 minus 1 over 2 square root of 2. You see that the denominator is the same, so I can write this as square root of 3 minus 1 all over 2 root 2. Right? This will be the final answer. You cannot simplify it because you are not supposed to use the calculator. Okay? That will be the final answer. And I want to encourage you to try and rationalize it. Okay? If you want, you can factorize and take out the 1 over 2 square root of 2, then in brackets you're going to have square root of 3 minus 1. So you could also write it as 1 over 2 square root of 2 times square root of 3 minus 1. Okay? We can rationalize it. Do you want me to carry on? You can get full marks. Yeah, you can get full marks. Well, remember, You didn't use the calculator, but do you want me to rationalize that 2 squared root of 2? Let me do it for interest's sake. So after, I can write as 1 over 2 square root of 2 times. Now here, I can multiply by root 2 over square root of 2 times square root of 3 minus 1. So what I'm doing is I'm just rationalizing, right? So I'll end up getting square root of 2 there over that's 2 times 2 to give me a 4 times square root of 3 minus 1. So you could leave it like that as well. But I feel like stopping there is fine. But you could leave it like that. Sorry? Okay, your homework is going to be to do B. I'm going to do C. Your homework will do B. And I'll give you a second question as homework. So you do B as your homework. Okay. Yeah, but taking note of it in your book. 2B is your homework, this question. Right, I'm going to do C quickly before the bell ends. So it's cost 165. Let me start on a new page. Cost 165. Don't worry, I'll send it on the group. Relax. Cost, okay. Cost 165 degrees. Now, since it's not an acute angle, it would be wiser to convert it to an what? To an acute angle. So I can write that as cosine of 180 degrees minus 15 degrees. Right? Then I'll use my knowledge of reduction formula. Since 165 is in the second part, this becomes minus cos 15 degrees. Okay? Following that. Now I need to use my knowledge of special angles to carry on here. Okay? The only two angles that can give me 15 degrees is 45 minus 30. So this becomes minus cosine of 45 degrees minus 30 degrees. Whilst you are doing this question, you need to be aware that there is a minus here, a minus 1, which is a coefficient. So you need to be very careful of that. Okay? So I'll put that in brackets, then I'll say minus, and I'll open a bracket, and I'll simplify that using number 1. Okay? So you get cosine of 45 degrees times cosine of 30 degrees plus sine 45 degrees times sine 30 degrees. So this will be equal to minus. Now let me simplify what's inside the bracket. So that will be 1 over square root of 2 times square root of 3 over 2 plus 1 over square root of 2 times a half. Okay? Now if I simplify, I'll get minus the open bracket square root of 3 over 2 square root of 2 plus 1 over 2 square root of 2. Okay? Then I'm going to distribute the negative. If I distribute it, I'll end up getting negative square root of 3 over 2 square root of 2 minus 1 over 2 square root of 2, which I can simplify and write it as 1 over 2 square root of 2 times minus square root of 3 minus 1. Okay? I can also rationalize that 1 over square root of 2. So my final answer is going to be very close to the previous question that I did. Okay. Is it making sense? Huh? Which step? Don't forget there's a minus here in front, so I distributed. When both became negative, then I factored out 1 over square, 1 over 2 square root of 2. And I can rationalize that 1 over 2 square root of 2. So I'm going to do that on the next page. Okay, just to highlight some key things here, the terms. So this is one term. This is due to one number. But also we put 2 terms here. Then this becomes more like one term. Okay, so let me rationalize that 1 over 2 squared root of 2. Okay. So you can do that. Okay. So next page, I can write that as 1 over 2 square root of 2 times square root of 2 over square root of 2 multiplied by minus square root of 3 minus 1. So that will give me square root of 2 over 4 times minus square root of 3 minus 1. Okay. I can leave it like this. All right.